mean, and like to have all three, it takes time sometimes, right? To have the confidence that you can compete or you can get things done and you can actually lead, right? You have to have some success. Can't be all failure. You got to have some success, right? To have that self-confidence takes time sometimes.
Hey, sometimes, you got to fake it till you make it, right? And, and sometimes I don't, I still don't today, right? Sometimes I walk into the office and we go through and we develop a strategy and we say whatever, or a problem presents itself. And you certainly want to lead with self-confidence. And then sometimes you go into your office and you shut the door and you go, oh boy, I hope I got that one right. Or I don't know if I did. And that's, but that's when the mentors come back into play, right? That's when, especially how we met, I can call a Gary Rabine or call somebody who's in that same role, understands that position and say, hey, I got a problem. And I don't know exactly how to deal with it. And, and those mentors that you have, you need to keep those lines of communication open. And
how about your responsibility seems like an easy thing, but boy, it's those people you see that when things go wrong, they're standing up and saying, my bad. And then you see people around them that might be the biggest problems, not themselves, but they're coming and say, I got my bad, my fault. I'm responsible for this, right? When people do that, they don't understand the value they create for a leader to be able to have another leader in their team or somebody on the team that's on their way to leadership would say that takes responsibility for something that really was not all their fault. But boy, they cared and they said, I got this, we're going to fix it. And man, that's a person you say, I want that person on my team forever, right? Yeah. Responsibility seems like an easy thing, but it's really not. I mean, I look at so many leaders at the highest levels. I even look at, the last couple presidents we've had in our country. And, we don't have to get political, but both presidents we've had in the last 3 terms, my opinion, they're smart guys, right? But they seem to take the credit for everything that's good, they think is good. And then they seem to push off when there's bad things that happen. It's not them, right? And again, it's amazing that in our country, we elect people that, and again, I don't have to tell you who, but one person I respect is, overall the results, and the other person not, but overall it doesn't matter. Both of them were I guys, not we guys, right? But me guys, I guys, whatever you want to say. And they would take credit for good things, and they would not take credit for things that went wrong. And I just don't see that as leadership. And I don't get how that at the highest levels of leadership, sometimes we have this where you don't see that responsible leader that takes one for his team because he knows he's leading the team, so he should, right? Or gives the credit to his team when things go well because they probably had most of the results were in their hands, right? Most of the success was because of them, right? And great leadership is that, in my opinion, and we don't see enough of it. But when you do see it, holy cow, right? Man, I want that person on my team forever, right?
Boy, you see it, you know it, right? And I couldn't agree with you more on some of the leadership, at least, from the, not getting political, but from the political view of the country. And I've got, hours of what my theories are on for that and things of that nature. But, when you have that kind of a special leader and I think, we have a lot of them in the business community and in places of that nature that get up and say, hey, yeah, it comes, we had, there used to be a guy, right? It was Harry S. Truman, right? The buck stops here. That's it. You got to take that mentality. And if you're going to lead your organization, that's the one you got to have. Now, you got to have processes and things in place to hold people accountable. Sure. But, if something failed, the team failed. It's, we win like a team, we lose like a team. And it's our job as leaders to find the right processes. And we're not going to be right all the time. Can't even tell you how many times I'm wrong every day. Right. But we take accountability for it. We take responsibility for it. We fix it and we move on. Again, losing's okay. You should never be satisfied with it. And I don't want to say it's okay, but you lose, you eat it and you move on and you do
fail
it
fast.
And fail fast and figure out what went wrong and go make sure, go make sure it doesn't happen again.
Right, and that's where perseverance comes in, right? It's you take responsibility, and you have that perseverance. No, man, we got our teeth kicked in, but here's what we learned. Here are the things we learned through getting our butts kicked, right? Yeah. And here are the things we're going to do differently in the future to make sure it doesn't happen again, right? And that's perseverance, getting up, getting back on your feet, getting back in the fight, whatever that fight is, and then doing your best to learn from the mistakes in the past because you took responsibility, right? Yeah. If you don't take responsibility, you don't learn. And I mean, I'm guilty of this as much as anybody, right? Once, come on, I didn't do anything wrong. it's
Right.
exactly how to do it all over again, right? And then you
Yeah.
think about it, and, you know, when you have a great spouse or a great friend that holds you accountable, you know, they get you thinking like, oh man, maybe I trust that friend, that spouse. And they said that I did that. Maybe I did,
Yeah.
right? And eventually you think about it and say, dang, you know what? And I believe that, you know, with responsibility, if you take responsibility comes the lessons learned from the mistakes. And that's where perseverance can take over, right?